Last night I returned from a trip to Afghanistan and strategically sensitive parts of Africa as part of a 6-member bipartisan delegation from Congress. The core purpose of a trip like this is to learn what we can about the various operations we were able to observe and to offer our support to the talented men and women advancing the mission of our country in these tough and very dangerous places. It was an intense trip. I'm going to be sorting out my thoughts on what we saw and heard for some time to come. However, there are a few early takeaway conclusions that I have that I'm happy to discuss with you. I'll be happy to answer any question you might have. My first conclusion is that the war in Afghanistan has never been more difficult or dangerous. In comparison with the trips I took in 2002 and 2007, Al-Qaeda and Taliban are attacking more effectively and in more places in Afghanistan. As the United States has responded, military casualties for insurgents, warfighters, Americans, and civilians have risen to the highest levels of the war. My second conclusion is that meaningful changes have been made in recent months regarding our strategy, our troop strength, and the military command itself. It's too early to know whether the change in direction will deliver the turnaround we need. Reasonable benchmarks need to be established so that governments of the United States and Afghanistan can evaluate whether headway is being made by meaningful indications of success. On a personal note, concluding from this trip, what is most impacting on a participant on a trip to a place like this is seeing the tremendous talent, dedication, commitment, and sacrifice Americans are making both in the military and in the civilian service to have all this work out. These Americans represent the best among us. It's an honor to get to know them and see them in action. People like the North Dakota National Guard pilots I met in Djibouti, Africa. The general these pilots fly told me they were the competent, eager, get-her-done kind of crew that gave him confidence they'd deliver him to his destination safely, on time, and ready for more. As an example of the extraordinary dedication of these guardsmen, 2 of them had spouses who were deployed with the Guard to Kosovo. In each instance, young children under the age of 5 are now with grandparents until our pilots end their deployment and get back home next February. In neither case, neither family sought hardship exemption. Each family stepped up to do their duty, and the little children went to Grandma's house. Now, as a parent, I feel badly that these children are no doubt being spoiled rotten in Grandma's tender care, and they're missing Mom and Dad. But I'll tell you one thing. We'll never have to worry about whether these children are being raised with strong core family values. On another part of the picture, I met 2 people from North Fargo. They grew up knowing one another. They grew up not knowing one another, 10 years apart in high school, both graduating from Fargo North, but living in adjacent North Fargo neighborhoods. They now sit on nearly adjacent desks within the USAID, our International Assistance Office, in a makeshift headquarters in Kabul, Afghanistan. One is in charge, Carissa Page, former staff member of mine, is in charge of developing a financial structure and assisting banks in getting up and running in Afghanistan. The other, Bradley Bessire, B-E-S-S-I-R-E, is in charge of the programs for increasing health care and education in Afghanistan. Like our North Dakotans, for whom we're so proud on the military side, we're very proud of Carissa and Brad and everyone doing their part to rebuild civil society in Afghanistan after all these decades of war.